This evening, I get the honor of interviewing one of my heroes, somebody I've looked up to since I was a small child. He really doesn't need any introduction because you're going to know who he is, but he is the star of Friday the 13th, Friday the 13th Part 2, Part 3, Part 4, Part 5, Part 6, Part 7, Part 8, Part 9, Part 10, and Jason versus Freddy. There may be one or two I'm missing in there, but you get the point. You know who he is. With no further ado, my man, Jason Voorhees. What's going on, Jason? How you doing, brother? All right. Look, you want to get right into it. I get it. Your time is precious. Mine is too. Let's do it. Don't mind me, dude, if I fanboy out a little bit. I'm telling you, you are a hero of mine. I've been waiting for this forever. I never thought I would get the opportunity. It's finally here. I'm excited. Hopefully you are too. Let's get into it. You drowned as a young boy, or, what they thought drowned. We'll just say that. But you were presumed drowned as a child. Now, this was when you were at Camp Crystal Lake. Was that somewhere your family frequented a lot? Well, we'll move on. Now, if I'm not mistaken, your mother held a huge grudge against the camp counselors because the way she saw it, that was neglect that, allowed you to drown. Apparently, they weren't watching you like they should have. Now, she did, in my eyes, what any reasonable parent would do afterwards. She stalked and killed as many counselors as she could to get back at them. And like I said, that's probably a move a lot of parents would make, any sane parent. So I just want to say that's not a knock against your mom at all. Now, unfortunately, your mother was decapitated by one of these counselors. If I'm not mistaken. How did that make you feel? So stupid, man. I'm sorry I brought that up. Let's just move on. Let's move on from that. Now, what a lot of people didn't know is you were alive and well, and you popped up years later as an adult and returned to Camp Crystal Lake to, to kind of get back at the counselors that had killed your mother, but didn't stop there. You killed anybody that was in your way just to avenge the death of your mother. So apparently that touched you in a way that did not sit well with you when your mother's head was chopped off. All right. You went back there, started killing people. Now, I will say you have a knack for killing. I got to give it to you. Got to give it to you, man. My favorite one, you put one of the young ladies in a sleeping bag, and you picked it up and you slammed her against a tree until she was dead. Dude, good move. But speaking of killing, you, my friend, have the most kills ever when it comes to a fictional serial killer. Did you know that? You've got somewhere around 170, which is like way above anybody else. Freddy, Michael Myers, that dude from the Texas Chainsaw Man, none of them are messing with you, man. That's something to be proud of, really. It really is. When you first came back and you decided to start murdering people, you wore a pillowcase over your head. Any reason for that? Okay. Now, you eventually graduated to the hockey mask look, which I thought was a way better look. Is there a reason you ditched the pillowcase? Was it too, Klansman-like? Because I know one thing when it comes to what you do. I've seen you, Chinese, white, black, you name it. You've killed them. You don't discriminate. I got to give that to you. So is that part of the reason why you just didn't like the hood look, or maybe I'm going down the wrong path? We'll move on from that. Now, big question everybody has. Every time we watch you at work, and it's not just you. I've seen Michael do it. Freddy's different because Freddy's kind of like, imaginary in your dreams, nonsense. But as far as like you and Michael, when people run from you, it doesn't matter how fast they run and how slow you walk, you always catch them. Is there a secret behind that you're willing to kind of let us in on, or? we'll move on. We'll move on, man. I don't want to pry too much. Speaking of the girls that you've murdered, there've been some beautiful ones. I will say, have you ever had the thought of maybe I won't slit this one's throat and I'll get to know her? All right. Well, apparently not. Are you friends with any other slashers that I've mentioned, like Michael or Freddie or Leatherface? Bubba, I think they called him on there. Are y'all? I get it. You're a loner. I get it. That notorious sound, that that. Oh my God, who's making that when you're actually killing people? Is there like a person or? All right, guess we'll move on from that one too. Now, after all of the fame, are you able to live a normal life now? Because, it's been a while since you've been out in mainstream. Let's face it. That's not to take anything from you. You've done a lot in your career that nobody can ever take away from you. But you have died down a lot as far as being in the limelight. Are you able to just go out and be a normal guy? Or are people always looking at you like, oh, that's that guy that, slit that woman's throat or crushed that man's skull? You know how people are. Do you get that a lot? Okay. Well, do you have any future plans coming up? Can we expect more slashing or more just mass murder? Is that something that you have time for? All right. I'm going to assume that, with you getting up there in age, that it is getting a little harder to pull off these, the amount of mayhem that you cause. All right. What's the campground like now? I see you're still there, judging by the background. It looks like you're still hanging out. Have there been any visitors lately? And if so, are they with us anymore? Now, let's say I decided to come down there and, if I wanted to do a one-on-one, kind of personal interview, would that be something that we could work out, or do I have to worry about being disemboweled? I'll take that as I need to stay my ass in the studio and let you stay over there. Look, man, it's been great. Like I said, I'm a huge, huge fan. If you ever able to do this again, please, have your people reach out to mine. We'll get it going. I love it. I love you. You've done some great work, and keep it up, man. Keep it up. And thanks a lot. Did we just lose another cameraman?
I'm not really sure.
Man, how in the hell are we supposed to explain this one?
Straight from the swamps of southern Louisiana. Straight from the swamps of southern Louisiana. Straight from the swamps of southern Louisiana. Let's get it.